What's going on, guys? Tristan24 here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're predicting match week 39 games for the championship. These games are going to be taking place over the Easter holidays. I think it's 11 of them on Friday and one of them maybe on Easter Sunday. I'm not quite sure on that last date, but we've got a few crunch games to predict. Let's get straight into it. First game we have to predict then is Barnsley against Reading, and it's absolutely huge. It has been moved to a later kick-off on Friday. It's a 5:30 kick-off, I do believe, just so they can broadcast it because it is a massive game. If either side lose this, in particular Reading, you probably think that's them done in terms of the playoffs, possibly, because Bournemouth have a game in hand on them. As for Barnsley, they just... Of course, all these games now are being played after an international break as well, guys. But Barnsley, they've just lost before the international break to Sheffield Wednesday. A bit of a setback, but that was always going to come for a team on a really good run. But for this game, I can't separate the sides. I think no team's going to want to go for it because, especially for Reading, they're going to know what's on the line. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Next up is Derby against Luton. For this game, it's going to be quite close. I think it's going to end a 1-1 draw. Derby, of course, I never know what to expect from them. Luton, they're good at home, but I haven't really seen much of them away. But for this game, I think 1-1 draw. Cardiff against Forest is next. Now, Cardiff, of course, let's not mention their last result. But Forest, I think they did get a 1-1 draw before the international break against Brentford, so that's really good for them. Can they do the impossible and make a late playoff push? I think it's just a bit too late for them. But of course, Forest fans would love me to say they can make it. But unfortunately, I think they've just started to get into a bit of form a bit too late. For this game, though, I'm going to back them to get a win away from home at the Cardiff City Stadium. I'm going to go 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. Up next, we have Bristol against Stoke. Now, Bristol at home with their new manager, Nigel Pearson, of course. They don't seem to be doing that well of the last few games I've seen of them. Of course, Rotherham beat them before the international break. QPR as well, that one comes to mind. For this game, Stoke, though, I do think they will get the better of Bristol in a 2-0 away victory. Up next, we have Bournemouth against Middlesbrough. This is a massive game. For the playoffs, of course. Both teams not actually in it at the moment. I think Bournemouth is 7th and Middlesbrough 9th. Bournemouth, though, are having a game in hand, but they need to show that they are proper pushing for it, not just relying on the games in hand. Middlesbrough, they need to get the wins now if they do want to get into the playoffs. They've got to be trying to get a result out of the teams like Bournemouth, but away from home, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a close game, but I think it'll be 2-1 Bournemouth in the end. Up next is WYCOMBE against BLACKBURN. You could say WYCOMBE are down already, but I think they could be if they pull off this escape. That's a madness, but against BLACKBURN, they were good coming into the international break. Of course, we never know how teams are going to come out of it. I haven't quite checked the team news if anyone's got injured for any teams or not. Start of the season, you would have said BLACKBURN probably pushing for playoffs. For this game, I'm going to go for an upset. I think WYCOMBE will win it 1-0. Can the late escape be on for them? Watford now host Sheffield Wednesday. Sheffield Wednesday look like they have a bit of fighting power in them. Watford, though, they've got the best home record in the league, of course. It's never easy going to Vicarage Road this season. It's been a fortress for them, and that's where they've got most of their points, of course. For this game, I can see Watford winning it. They're, of course, the favourite, second in the league at the moment. Sheffield Wednesday, I can't see them getting anything out of this one. I'm going to go 2-0 to Watford at home. QPR Coventry is the next game. Now, Coventry are there. I think they will be safe come the end of the season, but they just need a few more wins just to make sure they're secure. QPR, of course, you never know what to expect of them. Towards the end of the season last season, they did quite alright. Towards the end of the season this season, they've picked up a little bit of form. Of course, beating Brentford, massive win for them in their derby game. That come last month. No, 2 months actually, because we're now in April. So that come towards the end of February. But for this game, I can't separate the sides. I think they'll both score, be a 1-1 draw. Preston now take on Norwich. Now, they have just sacked their manager before the international break. I'm not sure of his name, maybe O'Neill, something O'Neill. Norwich, though, looks like they're going to win the league. If they do not win this, then I think you can say Norwich have officially bottled it, but I don't think they're going to mess this one up. I think they'll win 2-0 at Deepdale. Millwall versus Rotherham is the next game then. It's a bit of a nothing game for Millwall. I don't think they'll get in the playoffs come the end of the season. I think the teams like Bournemouth, Cardiff, Middlesbrough, I don't think any of them are, certainly not all of them are going to get playoffs. I think it's between them and the teams in the playoffs, Barnsley and Reading, to fight it out for the last 2 spots in the playoffs, because I think up till 4th is already taken. I think them teams are going to finish in the playoffs. For Rotherham, they need the points. Of course, they've got a few games in hand now on Birmingham. They need to make them count, but for this game, I do think Millwall will just about get the 1-0 win. I won't count them off completely getting playoffs, but they're going to need to work a miracle if they are going to get it. Birmingham next against Swansea. It's the late kick-off on Friday evening. 8 o'clock kick-off, so it's quite late to be honest for football, but I think they pushed it back that far to get the Barnsley Reading game in broadcast and the Swansea game. Birmingham, last game I watched them was against Watford. They looked good first half. Second half, couldn't really do much with the ball. When they had it, they didn't have it too much. They struggled a bit from corners defending them. And if Conor Hourihane's fit for Swansea, then he can put in a really good ball, of course. Last time Swansea played against Neil Etheridge as well, Ben Wilmot scored a header. So hopefully this time, maybe Mark Geehee, because he's a loanee on Swansea. Can he score a header? Maybe. But for this game, I'm going to back the Jack Army. We never really bounced back well after the international break, but this time, I think we'll win it 2-0 against the Blues. And the final game to predict of match week 39 in the Championship is, of course, Huddersfield going away, at home, to Brentford. Now, Brentford, over recent weeks, they've dropped a few points from winning positions. They've had a few penalties, which have been their only goals, against Forest, against Blackburn, and there was someone else they just scored a penalty against. Surprisingly, no one's just talking about how Brentford are getting so lucky getting 3 penalties in a row for their luck, when everyone was on about Swansea getting 2 in a row later on. But Brentford's penalties, if they're going to get one, it always comes around the 10th minute mark. So just watch out for that. But in this game, got to really be leaning towards a Brentford win, don't I? I think it'll be a 2-0 win for Brentford away at Huddersfield. They are my predictions then, guys. If they were to come true, somewhere on screen now is what the table will look like if all of my predictions come true. Of course, that's incredibly rare to happen. So make sure you comment your predictions as well. And also, over half of you watching aren't subscribed. What are you waiting for, guys? Smash the big red button, the subscribe button. We're, I think, 19 or 20 away from 1.1k. Let's get there. Comment your predictions. On screen now will be the prediction league as well. So make sure you get your predictions in to be entered into it. It's quite tight at the top. Make sure you get your predictions in though. And you never know, you could be up there. I think Arandik got something like 20 points the week just gone, which is absolutely insane. And he's literally leapfrogged to me at the top now, as you can see. So yeah, it's quite close in the prediction league, so make sure you join it for a bit of fun. And if you're competitive, then, you know, it will make it more interesting as well. So thank you very much to everyone that's watched this video. Make sure you smash a like, comment your predictions, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video very soon. Goodbye, guys.